dog's just a mess.
You can see the cat is throwing up or whatever. So you think we can save him?
Creepy crawling things, no problem for me.
Well, we got 4 alligators, turtles, iguanas, pythons, scorpion.
There's a hole
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
got several open wounds.
Detroit, Michigan. Horsepower rules in America's Motor City. It's home to the Michigan Humane Society, the state's leading nonprofit animal welfare organization. Funded by donations, it's on the front lines of the fight to secure better lives for animals. 4 cruelty investigators work tirelessly to hunt down animal abusers and rescue their victims. Out on the west side of the city, investigators Mark Ramos and senior investigator Debbie McDonald are responding to a call about an address they visited before.
We've gotten a call that there's a dog here that has sores all over its body and it's somehow got held up on a wire. Don't have any other information. It sounds like it possibly was able to run at large. So hopefully the dog is here and the people are here and we can get this thing resolved. It's supposed to be a visit.
How you doing?
Hi, how you doing? We got a call about a dog here that had a wire wrapped around it and had some sores on it.
Is this your dog or is he a stray dog? Couldn't tell if anything was in there.
Yeah, he's in there.
Oh, okay.
Gonna stay. Stay in there. Stay in the doghouse.
Here. Casey comes out. Well, it's a stray dog that come up in the yard. She thinks he's sick, but not really sure, so.
Is it cutting in him? Oh, man. And Mark?
Yeah,
He's got stuff embedded in him.
he does.
I just don't want to lose him, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff is really embedded in him.
Let's,
Because all I'm getting is embedded collar. Just around his waist.
around his waist.
Yeah. It's embedded.
It's on his neck.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, no. It's all the way around his whole stomach. It's around his neck and around his stomach. He's way messed up.
Oh, man, he's got it wrapped around several times.
Let me try to go over here. Take the clipboard. Hang on. I got a better idea. You want to put the dog off about a deck, put the stick on him, lower it back down. That way he can't get out. I don't want to lose him. Nothing's fenced around here. Why don't we tip the doghouse on his back?
Let me do that.
Ramos and McDonald can see the dog has serious wounds.
Hold this. In front. Tip it up so he can't get out.
Getting him out of the doghouse safely without hurting him or letting him escape will be very difficult.
Sitting right there.
That's a stray dog that's been hanging around the neighborhood. And she scared him out of the garage into here and told us. And he is in really bad shape.
Come here. Now, the cable is same thing as that green stuff. It's on his waist and everything. I don't know if he got tangled up in it or what, but okay. Shiny green cable. All right. I know. Hold on. I got him. Well, I got it up. I'm trying to get it up as high as I can.
Yeah,
All right,
you want to pull the light? Oh, this dog's just a mess.
A control stick positioned away from the wounds is the safest way to remove the dog.
You're okay. Oh, that's good. You're high, real high. Okay, ready?
Come on.
Fear and pain could cause the dog to bite. Ramos can't afford to take any chances with him.
Come on.
Give me try. Muzzle him?
Come on. All right, there we go. See? Get in there and let me look at you. All right.
Have a chat. Oh. I report down here that you found the dog 2 weeks ago, but here's my concern. That dog's got the same wire on it. It's over there kind of in that hole.
Okay.
Okay? Somebody did not tie a dog up in your yard.
What happened?
Now let me finish. Somebody didn't tie a dog up in your yard and have the cable wire get that embedded in it for all that long without somebody walking past up and down here noticing it.
What happened? I get
You need
a
to-
holiday out.
It's a 93-day misdemeanor with a $1,000 fine and no pet ownership.
I see what you're saying.
With the woman denying ownership, Ramos and McDonald feel it's best to switch priorities and get the dog to the shelter for treatment. But McDonald is convinced there's still a case to investigate.
She's saying that that dog is a stray dog that's been running loose in the neighborhood, came up in her yard, and she called us. From what we could see, that dog has a cable embedded around its waist a couple of times and its neck. And that cable is the same matches the cable that's tied around that pole. She's only admitted to having the dog in her possession for 2 weeks, and it's not her dog. We are going to see if we can show otherwise, because we think that, I mean, we talked to, some people in the neighborhood, they're saying that's where that dog came from originally before it was running loose. So we're going to see if we can pin down ownership there and pursue a case.
A closer examination reveals the full horror of the wounds to the dog with embedded wires.
This man gets in the wound in the bed.
And the Humane Society helps the Detroit police deal with a big collection of reptiles.
She's ready to strike if she has to.
When Animal Cops Detroit returns. Investigator Sean Harrison is working with field agent David McLeod. They're responding to a serious allegation of cruelty.
Okay, we got a complaint here at this address about some kids supposedly threw the cat up in the air and broke his back legs, and nobody's even took a cat to the vet or anything. So you can see the cat is throwing up or whatever, all the way down in the rear.
It's obvious the kitten has a problem with her back legs.
All right, you had a complaint about this cat out here that's down in the rear.
Yeah, my cat, he got ran over, man, about a week ago or so.
You didn't take it to the vet or anything?
We called him and said, but they said he had to have some kind of insurance card, you want to get his legs patched up or something like that.
Okay, can you turn him over to us?
Yeah.
Sign it.
Yeah, but he been getting along pretty good. Only one or two of his legs messed up, but the other one started to come back a little bit. You know what I mean? So he's been hopping along.
Is it a boy?
Yeah.
What's the address? You know which kids did it? You know which kids did it? He didn't say they got hit by a car. Oh, got hit by a car.
He got hit by a car.
Cool, put him in that box for me, man. Thank you.
It turns out the allegation against the children was nothing but a false rumor. But Harrison is disturbed that the father is claiming he didn't have the insurance to get the kitten treated.
There is no excuses talking about a car. What he just stated, that's non and void, because you can take the animal to many shelters and they will do the right thing by the animal if you can't afford proper pet care. Don't let it sit for a week. Just don't do that.
Harrison will get the cat examined by a vet. It will help determine whether he has a case for prosecuting the kitten's former owner. At the Michigan Humane Society shelter in Detroit, evaluator Samir Maidarna is working with investigators Mark Ramos and Debbie McDonald.
This dog's flesh is rotting around that cable that's grown through his back in 2 places and grown around his neck. It's rotted dead flesh.
Photographs of the dog's wounds will be used as evidence if there's a cruelty prosecution.
It's been on there for a while.
Long time.
It looks like what it was is they tried to make it like a harness or something to tie him up with that string. Hopefully, we can get something to prove who actually owned this dog. We have a very strong feeling that it was their dog. The hard part is going to be proving it. So,
Dr. Shireen Cece arrives. She'll decide on the best course of action for treatment.
He had the embedded curve is to be embedded here.
You know, I mean, you can see what we can do as far as clipping and cleaning, but if it becomes too much for him, I'd rather put him under anesthetic and do it. It's going to be too painful. To see how well it goes,
He'd probably appreciate it.
but we might have to do that. Well, his general condition is extremely poor. I mean, he's very thin. He's nothing but really skin and bones underneath the little hair he's got. He's got maggots or fly eggs, larvae in at least one of the wounds that we're going to have to see if we can clean out.
you get very upset because it doesn't take much to chain your dog up properly. And these people are looking at this. This just didn't happen overnight. This is something that takes weeks to happen. And they've been looking at this dog tied up with this wire cutting into his skin and not doing anything about it.
Demonstrate this part first. This is the one with the maggot.
Once the dog is asleep, veterinary technician Joel Allen starts the delicate task of clipping and cleaning the wounds.
Surprisingly, he doesn't have that many like he could have. You know, what we'll do is shave the rest of the areas and then clean them up real good, especially because he's got a lot of pus infection. And give him some antibiotics.
Later, rescue driver Corey Bacchio and investigator Mark Ramos rush to assist the Detroit police.
Police are there already doing their drug raid. We gotta hurry up and get there and help them out.
They got a whole lot of exotics over there, alligators, scorpions, and things of that nature.
They asked me to do this because I've got experience handling reptiles. I've owned several reptiles since I was younger. Nobody in the department really likes picking up big snakes, alligators, all that kind of stuff. I really like them. Creepy crawly things, no problem for me, but just don't ask me to pick up little warm, fuzzy little critters. That's what scares me.
In the process of arresting a man, the police have discovered his house is full of reptiles. It's illegal to keep reptiles in Detroit, so they've asked the Humane Society to take care of the animals.
The lizards, turtles, caiman, the snakes, scorpions, almost invariably. So since you surrendered to us, make sure you're not going to get them back. But what we're going to do is take them back to our shelter and try to find homes for them. Well, we're going to try and take everybody without removing all these big aquariums. We don't really have the room in our truck right now for all these aquariums. So we're going to try and get everything into our pet carriers so that we can get them all out of here safely. This is a very large scorpion. Well, they can bite. I mean, it does sting. Probably not going to kill you, but it hurts. So what we're going to do is try and avoid all of that. Yep. Okay.
It's a live scorpion.
Ready?
Yep. The alligators are small, but quite capable of inflicting a nasty injury. It's important to be cautious.
What's the little snapper down there?
Yeah, I'm trying to. He's...
Watch out, crocodiles, huh?
Right. This one's not happy at all. Watch out. Watch your head. Well, we're going to try and get all these turtles out of here. I think there's only 3 of them. But I'm going to move all the rocks and everything around just to make sure that we're not leaving anybody behind. The thing is, with turtles, they can live for so long. And they're all in pretty good shape. That's it for the turtles.
Now it's the snake's turn.
3 in there? Yeah, he says there's 3 in there. Well, he's got an albino, looks like a python. Can't really tell which kind. A ball python, and supposedly there's another 3rd snake in there. So we haven't seen him yet, so maybe we'll find it when we start digging around. if you can just grab them sort of by the head, just anywhere you can, and pull them that way. I just want to see how many snakes are in here when we start sticking our hands in them. I might be able to grab that right while you got it.
Watch that other.
Yeah. That's fine. Just come more, just pull it that way. So we can see what we got here. Yeah, I got this. Go ahead and grab that. What we'll do is kind of just fold it up around. She's just scared, so she's ready to strike if she has to. I'm not seeing a third snake. Because it's not really complied very well, it's possible that the snake got out. They are kind of small. He didn't really have this secured too well. So it's possible one got out. It's possible the other snake got hungry and ate it. It's happened before. Not really sure exactly where it's at. I don't think we've got a third snake in there. I'm not seeing anything. There's 2, 3.
Supposed to only be 3.
Supposed to only be 3? Okay, we got 3 then. 3 iguanas. These guys are kind of quick. I just don't want them to take off running. They seem pretty used to being handled. I don't want to lose that small one either. Don't want to lose him. Yeah, he's kind of thin compared to the other two. I mean, there's not a whole lot of food in there. So they're probably competing for food. And the 2 bigger ones are probably the ones that are winning out. Ready? Put him in there. He's got less fight.
All reptiles.
With the animals loaded, the next step will be to get them evaluated by specialists. At the Michigan Humane Society shelter in Detroit, investigator Sean Harrison and field agent David McLeod are arriving with the injured kitten.
We'll start that paperwork. Get the yellow card too, just to be able to say so.
Evaluator Jan Ramos and Dr. Malvinder Graywall are standing by to deal with the case.
Any seizures or down in the rear?
Yeah, this limping.
It's limping, okay. Yeah, I can see the square.
On your leg.
Okay. Has the cat been eating or doing anything?
It looked like he was eating when we got there.
Trying to move, but she's putting on her weight towards the front.
Yeah, it's more like a neurological. I don't feel anything broken. It's more like she has a very good pain reflex, but it just got, she doesn't quite dead, so maybe damage to the nerve that supply the legs. That could be the possibility.
So you think we can save him?
We'll try.
This is dexamethasone, and it's a steroid, just in case if there's any inflammation in her joints. Give it through the water and stop bedding. And I'll have that cerebral check the first thing in the morning. So in the morning, if you want to come, when you come in, just come to OB5 and you can check on her. Does she have a name?
Tiger. Tiger Lily. Lily Tiger. Tiger Lily.
There are no broken bones, but it seems the kid does have some kind of neurological damage. It will take time to establish what's wrong and whether Tiger Lily will ever walk normally. Over at the Humane Society's Rochester Hills shelter outside the city, the reptiles seized following a police raid have been settling in. The smallest of the 3 iguanas has assistant shelter manager Eva Tutchek concerned.
This iguana is quite a bit larger than the other iguana, and he is keeping the smaller one from eating. As you can see, this iguana is a lot thinner. You can see his bones down here, lots of skin around the belly area, and he's dehydrated. He's not in very good body condition, and that is because the larger one here, and still another large one that was housed with these two, were preventing the smaller one from eating. And because of that, he's in pretty poor body condition at this time. We're going to get this little one up to a good body weight by giving it free access to as much food as it wants to eat. So hopefully within a couple of weeks, he'll be in a good body condition again. I think the appeal with iguanas as pets is that they look like dinosaurs, and people like the idea of wanting to have a large reptile in their house. But they also don't realize what is involved with keeping such a large reptile, which means by the time they're 2 to 3 years old, they're discarded into shelters and other rescue organizations.
The reptiles are all comfortable for now, but the staff is already seeking permanent homes for them. It's not an easy task with species that need experienced and knowledgeable owners. It's been less than a week since investigators brought in a terrier mix with severe flesh wounds caused by embedded wire. They've been unable to prove who owned the dog, so they're not able to take any legal action. But there is satisfaction for all the staff in seeing how the dog's condition has improved. Evaluator Daniela Lawman has been monitoring his progress.
Yes, I think in 5 days he's done really, really well. He has started. You can see there's scabs on. There's scabs starting on most of the areas. He's very food motivated, so we're going to work on that. So he's not so grabby with his food. Gentle. Good boy. Once he realizes that he's going to get regular meals, that it's not going to be his last one, he'll do a lot better. No, boy. Good boy.
What lies ahead for the albino python?
This snake will get big enough to eat your dog, eat your children.
And will Chip overcome the trauma of his past and prove suitable for adoption? Find out when Animal Cops Detroit returns. It's been 2 weeks since Michigan Humane Society investigators brought in a kitten with suspected neurological damage affecting her hind legs. Evaluator Jan Ramos has been encouraged by the improvement in her condition.
She's doing pretty good. Now she's trying to use her legs. The doctor believes it to be nerve damage. And sometimes nerve damage can take up to 6 weeks if it's going to resolve. But the probability is she might have this condition her entire life. She's able to get upright, which is really good. She's able to make it to her litter box also. Sometimes when she is attempting to walk, she'll knuckle over a little bit, which she has these little abrasions when she first came in, which are healing extremely well. She's very lucky because we have a person who's interested in adopting a special needs kitten. If this doesn't resolve where she's just a little bit dragging in that, she might need some special boots too, because we don't want abrasions on the feet. But she's going to be kept as an indoor-only cat, which is fantastic, because that's what we recommend. Her personality is absolutely wonderful. She's the most affectionate little cat. She plays, her cage is filled with toys, and she's around her cage like a maniac. So she is 100% kitten. She's going to be such a sweet cat. And I just think it's very nice that somebody wants to open their house to her. You didn't like your bath too much.
The causes and effects of neurological damage can be very complex.
Got your bath? You're all clean and you're ready to go.
So the evidence against the former owner is not clear-cut. The Humane Society has decided there's little point in trying to prosecute him.
There you go, Steve. She gets around really well.
Instead, the staff is focusing on getting the best possible life for the kid. A few days ago, the Michigan Humane Society removed a number of reptiles from a house following a police raid. Most of them have already been found new homes. with placement groups that can give them the specialized care they need. The albino python and the small sickly iguana have been adopted by Jane Billette and her daughter, and today she's taking them to her vet so their progress can be monitored.
We're about the only reptile rescue that's operating in Michigan right now. We go by the name of Mid-Michigan Reptile Rescue.
Oh, yeah. We get our rechecks today.
And unfortunately, there's a real need for reptile rescue, especially with the iguanas. The iguanas are the most disposable reptile pet right now. Because they're inexpensive, because they're cute and they're little, and they're impulse buy, and people don't do the research, and they don't understand. They're a very high maintenance animal. A little squirt.
Hello. Hi, Joe. How you doing? Good. How you guys doing? Two more, huh?
Two more.
Dr. Jennifer Perriat arrives to check on the animals.
You can tell he's underweight because his hip bones here are sticking out, and this should be all filled in. You shouldn't see his bones like this. His little bitty legs should not be skinny like they are. And his ear abscess. No lights. No lights. That's good. His jaw does feel good. A lot of times if they're starting to have bone problems, their body needs the calcium, so it sucks it out of the bones and they get soft bones. It still feels pretty good. I'm sure if the drug rate had been a couple months later, he'd have bone injuries too. They also get soft bones and get a lot of broken bones. You see a lot of iguanas with old broken injuries in his field.
Toes. A lot of broken curly toes.
Yeah. Iguanas are not pets for everybody. This little guy will get over 6 feet long with good care. And here we have another animal that should not be owned by the general public. This is an albino Burmese python, not nearly full grown. She will get much bigger with proper care. Snakes are a little bit easier to keep in general than the big lizards, but you have to be aware that this snake will get big enough to eat your dog, you can eat your children. They need to be not kept in the general home. I recommend small snakes for pets. They are good pets, but this is not something somebody can manage. You shouldn't take even a snake out that's over 6 feet by yourself.
I have a feeling that some of these old scars on her body tore from being fed live.
Yeah, when you feed live prey and the snake isn't hungry right away, the prey will eat the snake and chew on the snake. These are probably old rat bites. That's why I always recommend using pre-killed food. You can get it frozen and then fried. Plus it helps with parasite issues as well. Here I'm just checking through her whole body, just doing a physical exam, see if she's got any lumps, masses, anything that shouldn't be there. Checking muscle. She feels pretty good.
The prognosis is good for the iguana and snake, and they can look forward to a lifetime of care with their new owner. Chip, the dog that had wire embedded in his body, recovered from his injuries, passed his temperament test, and was adopted. Unfortunately, he was returned to the Humane Society because he repeatedly tried to nip his new owner.
So what we do is we teach the dog to sit instead.
Beth Chamberlain of the Pet Education Center has been working with Chip to identify the cause of his behavior in the hope it can be improved.
He's I live for the moment kind of guy. Basically, dogs are what's in it for me. And so if you do as I say, I'm going to reward that behavior. So it's going to become a conditioned response, just like his nice sits. Chip. Yes. Well, one of the things that we saw with Chip is that he gets around very easily, and he starts to get to the point where you feel very, very uncomfortable with him. And so I just wanted to demonstrate what happens when it happens. And so if you're not quite sure what to do, it can be quite scary. And sometimes he bites, and he bites kind of hard. Okay. Chip, 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 chip. Ouch. He starts to get a little bit aroused. And it gets to the ouch. He starts biting me instead of the toy. It's not outright aggressive.
aggression, but it is bushy, dominant, attention-seeking play, and it gets quite over the top as far as bite inhibition. That's temperament, and then on top of it, he's had a bad experience. So the first thing that he chooses when he feels arousal, excitement, even if it begins in play, or I'm fearful of you or somebody coming to the house, he chooses aggression. He turns on and he chooses aggression. And that's basically temperament issue. We can't change the temperament of a dog. We can change behavior, like the jumping and paying attention to me and to sit and lay down and stay and those things. That's behavioral. We can make him a better mannered dog, but we can't change his genes. Unfortunately, we've seen him attacking people through the cage, up in the kennel run. And it's random. We don't know why. It's just a normal looking person, and it's happened about 3 times, and viciously attacking and biting the cage. I think that the aggression toward the strangers is basically learned, and that's from being neglected, absolutely. And that's what did it for me. And you can't undo what's been done to him now.
Sadly, Chip's aggression rules out readoption.
And you're playing lovely now.
Just outside the shelter, Senior Investigator Debbie McDonald and Investigator Mark Ramos are heading out on the road.
Somebody just called us and reported a swan's been dumped off at one of the parks in the area, and now some kids are trying to stick their pit bulls on it, so we're going to go out there and see if we can get the swan. Is that over there by those 2 cars?
Lower the corner.
Yeah, it's just wide open.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, we've seen them.
Catching swans can be very difficult.
Well, let's see how close we can get.
But the investigators can't leave the bird in a situation where it could be injured.
Sneak up on one of these groomers.
When do you try a blanket?
Well, we really don't have anywhere to corner him, so we're going to see how close we can get to him and either use a net or a blanket to try and toss it over and grab him.
Do you want to try to distract him from the front and then I'll grab him from behind?
Yeah. Let me make a big circle around and try and see how far I can get.
Yeah.
Swan? Hey. Look at me. He's looking. Hey, where you going? How close you want to get? Yeah. You're not going to take off, right?
What?
He's definitely going to take off. Where you going?
You're not going anywhere. No. You don't really want to go this way.
Especially if you want to go on the street. Yeah. Use a tree to kind of corner him a little bit.
Talk it.
I'm not sure if his feet are up in there. Well, he doesn't seem to be. He's moving around pretty good. Like somebody just dumped him out here and he didn't know where to go. So he doesn't seem scared. Yeah. Well, we're going to take him back. He'll probably end up in our Rochester wildlife section, and they'll see if they can check him out, evaluate him, see if he can be placed from there. That was easier than I expected.
He seems to have really good body weight. I think he was a little bit confused as to what he needed to do in that situation, which gave us the advantage, and we were able to get a hold of him. Just not a good situation for him to be in. Too much traffic and too much potential for kids and dogs in the neighborhood to mess with him. So it's good to get him out of there and get him into a safer environment.
At the Michigan Humane Society shelter in Detroit, evaluator Daniela Lawman is handing over Tiger Lily, the kitten with neurological damage, to her new adoptive mom, Lori Garrison. Tiger Lily will be going to a new home that's tailor-made for her.
We already have her room all set up for her. Got a little blanket for her, little kitty condo, special little dishes for her, and a beautiful toy that's immobile, stationed on the ground so she can sit and play, not have to worry about chasing anything.
Our doctors saw some improvement while she was here, but we don't know what her prognosis is. So she may always be the fastest kitty in the West on 2 feet, or she may actually regain some movement in those back legs. She can bend them. She'll put some pressure to extend them a little bit, but we don't know if that's just a reaction of the muscles or if it's actually an improvement. Worst case scenario, she might need what we call a happy cart, which is a cart that supports her back legs and allows her movement to go forward and possibly go back, but she wouldn't have to depend on her back legs at all. Best case scenario, she'll just need booties just to make sure she doesn't get any sores on her back legs. And very best case scenario is that she's going to fully recover, or at least recover to the point where she can use those back legs to some extent without having to drag them at all. So.
You're down. I wanted a special needs kitten for a while, and it came down, saw her right when I knew it was her right when I saw her. I said, oh, that's her, she's a sweetie. They have so much love, so much love. She's just so affectionate as you are. As you are. Yeah, she has a lot of love to give. Just because something's broken doesn't mean they don't deserve love, you know? She's gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright, sweetie.
All I know is that she's a happy kitty. Just in love with her new mama.
Her mama's in love with her, too.
I wonder how long he stayed there.
A few miles down the road, the scorpion that was taken from the reptile collector's home has a new adoptive mom. Senior investigator Debbie McDonald has experience handling exotic species and is glad to be giving the scorpion a new home. She's enjoying teaching her son about the scorpion's needs.
This guy likes to have some strength that he can actually tunnel and dig in. So he needs about 4 inches of material that he can get in and dig and root around in. And so instead of a rock or, like the moss and bark, things that he can burrow under and hide.
Or sail around and make a big mess.
Yeah, then he kicks all this out and, digs his little tunnels and kind of hides during the day, and then he comes out at nighttime.
He's pretty much just staying still, he's trying to stay away from us, because he's really timid of us.
Well, I like the educational factor, and I think it's a good teaching tool in terms of just to help understand that these really are pets and why they're not pets. I think it opens the door to conversations that it's important to have with children. And I think that's one of the values of it, and that they're really not something that you just want to bring home and casually care for. They require a lot of specialized care, and they're a lot happier in their home environment. We don't want to promote the sale and capture of these animals. I'm happy that we took him, and I know that he's not out there in the hands of somebody who really isn't going to provide him for you. It's a difficult place. This was an easy solution all the way around for everybody.
That's the hard thing. I mean, if you don't know anything about pets and you didn't go to college, this might be a really good pet for you.
There's a surprising development for the kitten with the injured back legs when Animal Cops Detroit returns. Over at the Humane Society shelter at Rochester Hills, the rescued swan has been doing well. Shelter manager Jan Cantle has been supervising her care and has picked a special name for her.
We chose the name Betty. A dear friend of mine who was a wonderful supporter of Michigan Humane Society passed away recently, and as a tribute to Betty, we named the swan after her.
So this is Betty.
There was an injury to the side. We're not sure what caused that. Maybe it was attacked by another animal, possibly a gunshot wound. It wasn't serious. We've had her in the shelter with us for 3 weeks. She's built up some energy again, and she's ready to be released now. We're very excited about that.
Yeah, he's gonna splatter, so.
She's been very feisty, which is a good sign for a swan. Lots of hissing, lots of attitude, lots of pumping up, so she's good to go back. We work very closely with Save Our Swans. This is Sherry Klopp from the Save Our Swan group. And Sherry assists us with waterfowl rescue and has found an appropriate placement for us in White Lake, and there's access to water, a lot of land around there. And she'll also be able to maintain visits with her just to make sure that she does acclimate herself to this new surrounding.
Okay, good girl.
It's a nice place. It's got lots and lots of lakes. So once she, feels comfortable, getting off and flying again, there's lots of lakes there that she can go to, and so it's just, she's going to a huge pond today, and that way I can watch. She's got little feet, her little feet are injured, but they're they look very good, and she'll just probably stay on the pond for a week or two,
I'm really pleased that Betty has a home to go to. She's been in the shelter for 3 weeks. It's got to be stressful for her here. It's not an ideal environment for her. She's going to have a beautiful pond to swim in, lots of grazing land, and it's a happy ending.
Hey, Cheryl. Come on in the picture. This is my friend Shirley. She's going to help me out with the swan. I'm sure you have to stay over here on this side. You just have to hold the crate back so that I can bring him out. Like open that thing. Yep. Oh, okay. You're okay. Now just take him to the wire steps. Lee, look around and see. This is your new home for a while. Easy. Yeah. Yay! There she's gone. She's ducking in and she's preening and... It's okay, honey. It's okay. Oh, Luna.
In Westland, Michigan, the kitten with neurological damage has a new name, Luna, thanks to her new mom and dad, Lori and Andrew Garrettson.
So she walks so good when she gets on there,
She's made amazing progress. When we first saw her and met her, she was only able to take a couple steps without really dragging her legs. Since the month we've had her, she's able now to take many steps without dragging, and now she's actually keeping her paws flat. They said let the cat that's established in the home make the first move, and so within a couple days, would you say? Yeah. They were friends, and now they feed each other. They snuggle. They play with each other. He's a lot larger than she is. We were worried about that at first too, but he's very gentle with her, and she's so resilient. She has such great spirit. I don't think anything's going to stop her.